Hi, I'm Gwen Sanders, currently president of Eustis Engineering. I started at Eustis when I was about 24, and I've been here 28 and a half years, so actually longer at Eustis than before Eustis. You know, I knew I wanted to be involved and hopefully, grow in the company very early on. After attaining my professional licensure, I was invited to become a member of the board of directors. I joined the board, kind of learned the inner workings of the company, and certainly that was an interest. But I guess I never really envisioned early on that would, come to a point where I was the one calling the shots, so to speak. But certainly, though, this is not a dictatorship, and I am just so proud to be a part of, a really good staff of folks, and we have a very involved board, and we all have our strengths and collaborate well. And so, while I may have this title, it's certainly a collaborative effort, and we work really well together, tossing ideas back and forth, and ultimately, I think bringing forth the best for the company as a whole.
So my name's Chad Held. I'm Executive Vice President at Eustis Engineering. I started here in May of 1991. Fresh out of high school, started in our lab. I did some traditional laboratory testing. Started out as doing Atterberg limits. It's one of the most basic entry-level positions of laboratory testing from a geotechnical perspective. And I started doing that and worked at Eustis while I was going to college. It was a great learning experience then, because I got to learn about geotechnical engineering and testing. And while I was going to college, I worked in all the different aspects of Eustis. My father, Lloyd Held Jr., was president of Eustis Engineering. I can remember being a part of Eustis since I was a little kid. I can remember coming over here and visiting him in his office, and seeing the drill rigs, seeing the laboratory tests being performed, listening to him talk to clients. So I was grew up seeing all of that as a young child. When I came to work here, seeing him being an engineer and providing an example for me for what I needed to grow into and what I needed to learn, how to not only be a great engineer, but to be a leader. And how to be a leader for Eustis Engineering and for our employees, so that we could provide them with the best livelihood they could have, as well as providing the best experience for our clients with regards to knowledge and geotechnical engineering.
One of the early projects that made a big impact on me as a female civil engineer was Jazzland, or Six Flags New Orleans, which isn't currently operational, but at the time that was just a huge project. The engineer of record, the structural engineer, was also a female engineer. So having that relationship and then working on such an iconic project, made a huge impact on just the confidence level of making recommendations, seeing that whole life safety component, because these were foundations that were going to be tested. You knew they were going to be loaded. It wasn't just like a building where maybe there's some office space and this estimated load, but these were rides that were going to have people in them. So it was just a really important project from that aspect, a fun project because it was, this was an amusement park. And so I think that was probably one of the, big projects that I was really involved in, and, on the fun side. And then the Huey P. Long Bridge widening. I worked on the approaches, just a very complex project. I was, part of the partnering process with the contractor and the owner, DOTD, the designer, and so I was very involved in the field often. And then, of course, one component of that, you're in misery at the time, but the contractor worked around the clock to do the drilled shafts because of the complexity underneath the existing bridge. So there were inspections, at 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So it was just one of those all-in type of projects, but the experience you gain from that, you look back now, like, of course, when I was in it, being out in the field at 2 a.m. was a little scary or, tiresome, but looking back now at the experience I got from that, it's glad I did it.
I have worked on a number of projects. I've been here for 30 years. So I've seen a number of projects happen over that time. Probably the two most monumental that I can think of most recently would be the Inner Harbor Navigational Canal surge barrier. This is the project over in New Orleans East that protects us from storm surge in that area. And I distinctly remember my involvement with it doing dynamic pile testing services for the piles supporting the structure itself. It was a continuous operation. That project worked 365 days, 24 hours a day. There was not a day taken off from start to finish. And so we had to be on call at all hours of the day and night to perform dynamic pile testing services because we need to verify the pile capacities to allow them to continue on with production. But it's a monumental project for the city of New Orleans to provide crucial flood protection for the city. Another project I would remember is after Katrina was the University Medical Center Hospital downtown. I was the senior project manager who oversaw that project. So knowing that we were replacing the charity hospital system, knowing the importance of that hospital to the city of New Orleans, and being involved from scratch from geotechnical design through construction and overseeing the entire process was really a key monumental project to see from start to finish in the city.
Keep up the good work. I mean, we have just a really bright group of folks, hardworking. No matter what your position is, we're always ready to listen to those ideas.
Yes, it's been phenomenal to work here. To start out as a lab technician and move up to be a vice president, to see all the different levels of the company, to see our employees at work, to see how they value the work that they do, and that they realize the importance about what we do with regards to providing foundations for the buildings and the structures that we are working on, and to provide that foundation for our clients so that they have successful projects. It's really been amazing to grow throughout the company and see that, and yet while we've progressed and while we've embraced technology, we keep those same core values with regards to excellence to ensure that we're providing the best value and the best product we can to our clients.